move as much, not as much footwork involved. So, but that way, Jerry, because he has to leave in about an hour, or no, about 45 minutes. So that way, you can get him a couple ideas. Because, like I said, most JKD under Ted Wong's lineage doesn't really cover a lot of grappling unless it's kind of gone through me. I was working with him on that a few years prior to passing, and then we were still working. But, you know, he kind of proved everything I kind of came up with and thrown at him. He'd shown me, because of my grappling background, he kind of turned me loose on it, so I just try to share that here and there. Like I said, though, it's not an addition. We weren't ever planning on making Jeet Kune grappling, or this is a set part of the curriculum. It's not. It's just extra things. As Ted said, he said, if you're looking, you remember Jeet Kune is an art, and he didn't want to change it. A lot of people said after Bruce passed, he said, well, Bruce didn't get to finish the system, so we got to finish it for him. That was kind of an attitude, and Ted didn't like that because he said, you know, give the man respect. Maybe he was going to make changes, maybe he wasn't, but let's not assume and start making. He said, let's preserve an art that is a good stand-up art and leave it at that. If you want to become a good grappler, or you're looking at MMA or whatever, and you're serious about fighting, you need to look at an outside form of grappling, but it's not Jeet Kune. It's like now you're a Jeet Kune guy who knows how to grapple in said art, whatever it may be. With that, now I could always throw this in there because before I even do any clinch, I like people to kind of know where it comes from. And that's why I give this little intro before we start working on it. But I like to throw this part in. I asked Ted when we started working, I said, what was Bruce Lee's thought on grappling? Like, okay, you're saying we need to look at other stuff. What did he like? Bruce Lee liked judo and wrestling. And anytime he gave me an answer, not that I didn't respect his answer and believe him, but I like to know why. I think what makes you good at a martial art is knowing the who, what, where, when, and why of a technique, and not just the how. Okay? And so I asked him, well, why did he like wrestling and judo better than, say, jiu-jitsu or sambo? And he said he liked them. And of course, back then, when we didn't have the internet and all that stuff, so he might have liked some other stuff. But the things he was exposed to, a lot of the jiu-jitsu back then and other forms of grappling that were within certain styles of kung fu or karate or whatever they may be, they were too static. It was much like we do in the taekwondo or karate. It's like, okay, you know, and then you stand still while I do this. And then, okay, now it's your turn. Why are we doing this? Well, I'm telling you, I'm getting ready to attack. It's too static. It's like, you know what you're doing, stand still. He felt that judo and wrestling, because they were sports, they were more alive. And they're more reactionary. Instead, everything built around one steps. And especially in the 60s, a lot of controlled sparring. Okay. So, now, what I try to do also grappling, I don't say, okay, to know how to grapple is, all right, then we'll get inside my guard. Well, fights don't start down there. They start standing. That's what I say, as a Jeet Kune stylist, we'd like to keep it standing. You know, we'd like to fight a certain way because we're taught how to make it work in general. Not the ultimate art, there's no ultimate, but we work a specific skill set to achieve a certain level of skill. We want to make our grappling fit within and make it kind of mesh. Mixed martial arts schools, and I run one. I'm doing Jeet Kune, but my fighters, it's all kind of mixed in there. A lot of MMA schools, they do their striking portion. We got our gloves on, our headgear, our shin pads. Let's work for an hour. All right, everybody, go get your gis on. Boom, we're back on. It's too separate. It's too separate.
Yeah.
There's no. What about that in between thing? You gotta have an answer for that in between. You know, it's like you go from standing to the ground. What about take that? Well, we work those two. We take our gis off and we do our wrestling. It's like everything's separated.
Yeah.
fighting is not separated.
It's a complete package.
From
So,
long range to close range, to grappling, to clinching, to disengaging, to takedowns, to standing up, back to the ground. A real fight, total fight, talking street, MMA, whatever, all that stuff's involved. It doesn't just stay in one area. Unless you're talking about combative sports such as boxing, internationals, kickboxing, K1, Muay Thai, something like that. Then you're talking about a set of rules that make you fight a certain way, presumably jiu-jitsu, wrestling. We're talking about what to do is total because, like I say, I like to tie it in jeet-kunedo. Jeet-kunedo can be used for sport, but it was developed, as Bruce Lee developed it, just for fighting. Okay, so.